What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. For this Motivation Monday, this is more of a reflection. And I really hope that all of my things, all the things that I do, are really more reflections and that they motivate somebody and inspire somebody. So, because I'm not trying to just do something, put on a show to inspire and entertain you. I'm really thinking through some things that has been on my mind through the week, and so I call it Motivation Mondays, hoping that something that I'm reflecting on or wrestling with would motivate. Um, but it's really I'm reflecting on something, and I want y'all to know that. So this week I listened to a podcast. It was great, man. It was Lecrae, one of my favorite rappers. I like Lecrae a lot. And Cam Newton. And you know what? I knew about Cam Newton because I was going for him in that Super Bowl. Well, yeah. I was going for him in the Super Bowl. I forgot which Super Bowl that was. Did he go against Tom Brady? I forget. Maybe it was Peyton Manning. I totally forget. I'm not a football guy, but y'all tell me. But anyway, Cam Newton lost the only Super Bowl that him and his team Panthers went to, and he lost. And I know people were talking about him and showboating and stuff, but man, his podcast, it really shows his character and his personality. And I think he's a funny guy, man. He seems like a cool dude. So anyway, this podcast was with Cam Newton interviewing Lecrae, and Lecrae had asked a question, and I wrote this down. So I'm gonna do it word for word. He was talking about church. Him and Cam was talking about church because Cam Newton grew up in church, and Lecrae did not grow up in church. But Lecrae said when he did have an experience with church, he asked himself, "Is this who we are cultured to be, or is this what our hearts genuinely appreciate and love?" And he was talking about he was in church one day, and his 15-year-old, 16-year-old kids would say, he would ask him, "How you doing, man?" And they would say, "I'm blessed and highly favored." And he's like, "Man, is that really how you talk, or you just pick that up from what's around you? It don't seem real. You 15, man. I know you like T.I. I know you like, all this stuff." But it was a good question to me. And so I reworded that question and I asked, are we culturally conditioned to admire and respect certain things? Or do we naturally admire and respect these things apart from any outside influences? So that's what I reflected on. And I haven't gotten to write out my thoughts all the way, but this is just freestyling and it's okay. I might do another Monday motivation where I have written out my thoughts on this. So hopefully it motivates you to think about the same thing. But I thought about, are we culturally conditioned to admire and respect certain things? And I'm talking about as Christians. Or do we naturally admire and respect these things apart from any outside influences? Well, I'm just going to give my big three answer today. And I'll save the rest for maybe later. Or maybe not. This might not be on my heart next week. But I think that's a great question. Culturally conditioned to admire and respect certain things or to act certain ways. I say yes. I say yes. But I also say three things. The only way we cannot be culturally conditioned is if we never needed anybody around us. Because the household is a culture. The household you're brought up in is culture. The friend groups you have, like in school or wherever else, is culture. And when you get to be an adult, the workplace or the business that you have, it's going to be a culture. Everything around us is a culture. So all three of those things is a culture. And unless we're born without needing anybody around us, needing anybody to take care of us, we are all going to be influenced by some kind of outside force or outside group, and their values and their beliefs and what they admire and respect is going to influence us in certain ways. So yeah, Christians are influenced, and those teenagers have heard that and seen that, and they're saying that, they're mimicking, they're imitating. And maybe they do like other things, but nobody can escape that. Like nobody. Even if you're not a Christian, it's some kind of culture that has shaped your likes and desires. I don't think anybody goes without any outside things or people influencing what shapes them on the inside. So that's my reflection for today. Hope that motivates you to think about that. Just think about that. And maybe I'll get back on this topic, maybe not. But I really did like that question, and I hope that just made you think this Monday. All right, guys, be blessed. Have a great Monday. Have a great week. God bless.